Well, it's time to dive. I'm sorry. So, with that said, let's dive into what got us here today. But before then, I'll hand the floor to our panelists so they'll introduce themselves conveniently. Hey, ladies, over to you.
Well, I can jump into it. My name is Christance Bianou Moshe, and I'm an IT project manager overseeing different portfolio of projects. Currently working in a consulting firm, having as our main clients the government. So we offer products like website building applications to and offering all those to the US government. So it could be US Department of Transportation, US Department of Education, just to list some of some of them. So I'm also passionate about anything leadership, anything women empowerment, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here actually today. So thank you again for inviting me, and I really look forward to have a great conversation with all of you. Thanks.
Thanks much. Shannon, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Dominic. So I'm also very happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation and for the opportunity as well. My name is Shannon Mojera. I'm based in Nairobi, Kenya. So I'm an engineer. I primarily work with Linux systems, operating systems, and as a desktop support engineer for a global IT company. In addition to that, I'm a founder, 3 times founder of different tech startups. So I'm very passionate about problem solving and entrepreneurship as well. So I've founded different companies in different spaces, really within real estate, food, agriculture. So everything just providing tech solutions to to have positive impact in the community around us. So I have social. So most of my projects within the entrepreneurship space are based on impact and sustainability. Yeah. So thank you. Nice to be here.
Okay, thanks a lot. So, for the ones meeting us tonight, I will have to give the theme or the topic of tonight's webinar: African women leaders in tech and entrepreneurship. Highlights the contributions and changes faced by African women leaders and entrepreneurs in the tech industry. So let's dive deep into the topic tonight. Okay, can you tell us about your experiences as African women in the world of technology? What the projects you're working on? How did you manage working on them? So, Crescent, you have the floor.
All right. Yeah, let me do this. So I would like by mentioning that my journey in the tech industry is a bit typical because as you may know, or those who do not know, I'm coming from a non-tech background and being a native French speaker, currently working in an English country like US. So coming from that background where I used to work as an HR admin, purely non-tech industry, and being establishing myself as a lead in the tech industry where I lead teams of technical engineers. I have to lead them every day, empowering them. I would say it's been a journey that I've really enjoyed so far. I started as I mentioned, I transitioned starting as a Scrum Master, working as a business analyst, interacting with different a variety of stakeholders, building my confidence during all this journey. So it took me a lot to be there, to be here, working on myself, developing leadership skills, self-confidence, and being constantly learning to be able to stay on top of things because the tech industry is a very evolving in industry. So you always have to be on top of things. You have to learn to know what are the new things going on, what are the trends. So to answer your question now, as an African and a woman, I definitely went through challenges during this journey, but I always took every challenges as an opportunity for me to learn and to grow. And today I can say that working as an African woman in the tech industry has been a very fulfilling journey. You may ask, why is it fulfilling? Well, because first, I'm a passionate I'm very passionate about improving people's life, impacting people's life, knowing that I'm contributing, and using the technology in my field to do that has been something very rewarding, right? And I can list out some of the projects that I worked on that really filled me and that made me know that, well, I'm really bringing something to the world. The one that I recently completed that I called ITS for Us is an application that we built for underserved people, so people with disabilities who couldn't work, like who are using some specific tools to work. So we built an application that will help them to easily book their trip to move from one area to another one, right? So we had kind of integration of different other systems from the bus, taking the bus, the metro, and the shuttles. So now we have that application, and they are now able to move from one area to go to the office and do other activities, being, using that application that we have used. So now, and we've got so many testimonies, great testimonies. So it still is really, I feel good when I see that it really aligns with my personal values to help people improving their life. Another project that I worked on is when I used to work at the World Bank Group, I developed one product, the DGRA, which is an application, a tool that will help many countries, developing countries, to assess their level of digital assessment, to know where they are at in embracing the technology. So we've used that tool to assess them, and from there, we were able to build kind of a strategy to improve their level, or to improve their the technology level. So these are some of the tools and some of the applications that I've built. I have so many, a portfolio of them, but I just highlight this one for now. So it's been really a fulfilling career, of course, with challenges, and we may talk about challenges later on. Let me just talk about the fulfilling part of it now. Yeah, so it's been a rewarding career.
Okay. Shannon, up to you.
Okay, thank you so much. So I think in terms of experience and my journey, I'd say maybe mine started way back in high school. Yeah, so when I was back in high school, I think I was just this normal, I was more of an nerdy child. I really liked to study, get to learn about new things, and, just find something different to amaze me. I was always curious, and I really wanted to find out the new exciting things in life. And I think during one of our career fairs, so we usually had career fairs organized back back in high school. So we had one of the alumni. So I was in a girls' school around Nairobi. So one of the alumni who was actually a software engineer at the time. So she was actually a guest speaker during those career fairs, and then she spoke about her experience, about what they do in software engineering, developing solutions, and what she was currently working on. So it sounded really exciting because I think that time, around that time, so there was really some new hype about AI and technology, and those movies we used to watch back at home about AI taking over and robots taking over the future. And then these movies where you'd see hackers, tapping their keyboard, and then 1, 2, 3 happens, and then they've like robbed a bank or something of the sort. So such things that really used to excite me. So when she spoke about it, I was like, yeah, this is something I'd really like to do. I'd really like to venture into IT. So it seemed very exciting to me at the time because of the different the different like opportunities for the IT space had to offer. And I was really, really intrigued about it. And I said, this is something I'd like to pursue. And then, of course, if your parents are old school like mine, once you're in school, after school, you're expected to be either a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer at most. So I was, for my parents, of course, they wanted me to be a doctor. I mean, that's what most African parents would prefer, being a doctor or a lawyer. I mean, that those are the careers that were known to be, good and well paying. So even, just telling your parents that this is what I'd like to pursue in my higher studies in university campus. So, it took some time, some bit of convincing, because they also, didn't know much about the field or what's happening. So yeah, so fast forward, so I was called into university to do informatics and computer science. So that's what I did. I studied that in campus. So it's a course I really enjoyed. I enjoyed learning more about different aspects of computation, from networking to programming, AI, data science, with the different emerging technologies that were very recent during that time when I was still in school. So, and then after that, so while I was still in school, I got to learn different things. So I had different mentors actually in school. So I would see, and most of them actually were gentlemen doing very interesting things within the field, within their different spaces. One was in blockchain, the other one was in IoT. So that's Internet of Things. So I got to learn so much from them, the passion and the zeal, and I could see the good and the things they were coming up with, different solutions that were really impactful. So I was really amazed and intrigued by these brilliant people and all the amazing solutions. And I think from then on is when I was really active within the ecosystem. So I vied to lead the IT Students Association. So that was what I was doing in most of my second year. So I got to lead the entire association and just promote and engage with industry leaders from the big names like Oracle, Microsoft. So we used to have different student engagements with such companies, hackathons especially, get the students to participate, also attend different industry events. So I think through my interaction and my networking with such big names in the industries and different mentors, so it got me, at a very good place to learn more about the industry, about technology, about just generally STEM, and see my contribution in it, and be able now to plan my career around it. Yeah. So even during that time period, I got to work on different projects. So as I said before, I was very, very curious. I think I experimented on everything, from gaming, AR, VR, data science, IoT. So I think I've done literally everything. Yeah, I even did a red hat for cybersecurity. As a cybersecurity hackathon. So we have really explored the different aspects of technology. Yeah. So I think one notable project I can share is when I think we were second. So I had a team. We were three of us, and we came up second nationally, and we had done an AR augmented reality, that is AR project on waste management. And we had come up with a solution that will enable people to scan, and then they're able to scan a particular QR code. Then they're able to see the different identify the different type of waste, that we say the plastic, organic, or biodegradable or not, and then they're able to know how best to dispose of it. So that was a very interesting experience, because it was the first time working with such a technology, and it was a very interesting experience when I was still back in school. So fast forward, I think even towards the end of my student life, I got to engage with different. As I said, I had already established quite a good number of networks when I was still in school, and had spoken to very many people actually. So I had a very good understanding of how the industry works, and I was really big on community, just going to learn and engage with other people. Then I got to lead different communities, even currently one Quantum Kenya, which promotes quantum awareness or quantum technology awareness, which is something that is quite recent and emerging, especially here in Africa. So it's a bit more developed in other countries, but it's something that is quite new here. So I think through all that, I grew my experience, my technical experience as well, my leadership as well. In being a technical leader is quite different from maybe being in business. But even in addition to that, I also did study some business as part of, because remember, technology is also just a tool. It's a tool that enables an aspect of humanity. So there's obviously an aspect of business. So you really can't escape. There are those who would say you will all go all technical, but you definitely must have knowledge of either business skill or something, a soft skill that will enable you to apply the technology knowledge that you know. So from school, I think I started my first startup around my third or fourth year. So that's when I started my first startup, which was basically based on a civic technology platform that enables connections between citizens and leaders. And I think for that, it was something I was trying it out for the first time, because I'm also very passionate about leadership, politics. I'm also active, low-key active in politics, and I'm really concerned about geopolitical information and stuff. So that was something I was trying to do to promote transparency, accountability, and democracy. And it's still a work in progress. So that was the first thing that I tried out doing, and the way we're still engaging different stakeholders and to see how we best to push that project. Then I think the other two, one is in real estate and food platforms. So what we're trying to do, basically, the whole vision actually and mission of why I'm actually being an entrepreneur in technology is really to create impact first for the African continent, because I see there's so much potential, and I feel if we are able to leverage the technological advantage that we have, we'll be able to to advance much faster and modernize in some of these aspects. So that's why I look at very critical sectors of the economy, and I'm able to think on it and create a solution around it. So I think that's my experience from the time in high school till now. So obviously I've gotten some work experience with different companies. I was a risk auditor at KPMG at some time. I worked as a business analyst as well for a fintech company. So I've had quite a number of experiences, industry experiences as well, and been within the ecosystem, founder space with investors, VCs, talking about business and stuff, and how technology can be and innovation can be used to spearhead, especially the youth, into these spaces. So I think it's been a very fulfilling journey, I can say, so far. And we keep pushing on. And I think it's been a journey I've really enjoyed, and I always just stay curious and have that yearning to continue learning more and to do more, especially because so many people are watching and they can obviously learn a thing or two from you. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great sharing. What you've experienced is wonderful, and I can see, well, from what I hear, your projects. Shannon, you're more of an entrepreneur, or both entrepreneur and woman leader in the tech industry, while Crescent is more focused on industrial, or no, what can how can I put that? Woman leader in industry, she's not very much in entrepreneurship. Is it right?
Yeah, that's correct. Entrepreneur, yes, maybe not in the tech in industry, doing other type of business, but for in this forum, I will keep myself as a leader in the tech, leading teams, technical engineers, and yeah, that's just how I would describe myself here for now.
Okay, that's perfect. So that's very wonderful. So do you have any examples of emblematic African women who have contributed or are still contributing in the tech industry up to now? Do you have any, can you give us any examples of them?
That's to me, I guess. Okay, so yeah, I can go. One person that I listen a lot, that I follow, maybe I will start with her, who is Rebecca Inuntion, who is the founder and CEO of Uptake, and she has been doing amazing job in the promoting the tech industry in not only in Africa but also globally. So that's one person that I would like to start by mentioning. And I also have Dr. Gozi, who is from Nigeria, and she's actually the director of the World Trade Organization. She's an amazing woman who has a lot of experience as an economist and policymaker, and who has really, make us shine as an African woman globally. I'll mention Juliana Rotich. We have Rebana. So we have, I want to acknowledge that we have a list of many amazing women, inspiring women who has accomplished a lot, and that we as a woman today, as African women, we learn a lot from them. But what I would like to highlight, one thing that I would like us to learn from them, and to also, we want to take some takeaways from what they have all accomplished. So things that I found being common of all of them is their passion of doing what they are doing. Because when you listen to them, all these women leaders, all these African women, they are very passionate about what they are doing. They have kind of a purpose-driven work. They know their why before even jumping into anything that they are doing. They know why they are doing, and that's something very important, because when you start either as a leader or as an entrepreneur, if you go just like this, you don't know where you are going. The first challenge that you will get, right, you will just give up. But when you have something that is purpose, or you are really passionate about it, yeah, you overcome any challenge that you can encounter. So that's one thing that I found on common among all these women, knowing their why, being passionate, and have a purpose-driven work. Another thing that I found, and that I would like us to learn, that taught me as well, is the ability to innovate, to being observative about the environment, finding and observing what are the problems, what are the needs of either their community, either their country, and going from that to use their skills, either in technology or leadership, and come up with something that can be a solution to that problem. And that's a call for all of us, right? It could be something really, small. You can start from somewhere really small. It can be a problem that you identified in your family, your community, your country. How can you bring a solution? That's where you start with the entrepreneurship. It could be something that you create and then you innovate. So that's one thing we could also learn. Another character that I found very also that we can learn is the ability to be resilient in the face of challenges. When you read the stories, or when I follow this woman, you understand that they've been through challenges. They've been through biases. They have been through, difficulty based on their gender, their race, their stereotypes, but they didn't limit themselves there, right? They pushed through, and that's why they are where they are today. So we all know that sometimes things won't work as we have planned, and we face challenges. But when we know our why, and I will still come back there, because that's one thing that even at work, even in my goals, whatever I set up, I want to know, why am I doing that? What's the big vision? So, and when you know that, you will overcome any challenges. Another thing is when you listen and also follow them, you see that there are people who are investing in their education and in their skills. So and this is the importance of skills and self-development. There are people who, especially in the tech industry, where you have to be constantly learning new things, because it goes so fast. You have to, what is the new technology? What's the new tool that came up? You have to learn it. So that's one thing. Continuous learning, continuous education. So these are some of the things that, listening or watching all these powerful, inspiring women, I learned from them. And that's one things that I'm also trying to implement in my own life, in my own career, in my own, and that I would like us to also take today as a learning.
Okay, thanks, Christians. Very interesting. Proceed.
Yeah, maybe I can just add one or two things. I think also in terms of political women who are really inspiring and outgoing within the tech space. Maybe I can mention just one person who's locally well known around here. So her name is Hilda Mora, and she's the founder and CEO of a company known as Pezesha. So Pezesha is actually a fintech company which offers credit facilities to SMEs, that's small, medium, and large businesses. So they mostly focus on small medium enterprises, not large corporates. So they do credit scoring, then they're able to determine how much credit a business is worth, and because the bulk of the African economy that way is supported by the SMEs. So, and I think one thing that I've noted even from her and from most of the women entrepreneurs, both locally and globally. So one thing that really differentiates a tech woman entrepreneur from just any other entrepreneur is the kind of I don't want to say is aggression or resilience. I don't know what best to put it. Because for this kind of space, you need to be. It's a very you also need to be very technically knowledgeable, yes, because that's one of the stereotypes that I think Chrissy had talked about earlier. There's so much stereotype around women in tech, being, in terms of their skill and their ability. So it's very, very key. And I think even just to encourage our audience as well, if you really want to be a woman leader in tech and to be that emblematic icon of society for people to look up to, you really need to not to shy away from the technical hard stuff, quote unquote hard stuff, because I feel like if you have the passion and the drive, you'll be able to learn anything. So it doesn't really matter whether you're male or female. So as long as you really have the drive and the passion, you can be able to crack it. Yeah. So for most women entrepreneurs within this space, they're highly knowledgeable, very technically, savvy, and they can be able to explain their product in and out. Yeah, so that is something you cannot escape. As a woman leader, you really have to know what you're doing. Yeah, so you really have to spend time understanding the product you're building. In case you don't know, you always have to learn how to ask the tough questions. Be willing to learn from anyone. Yeah, and from your mentors. Be also humble enough to ask a question when you don't understand or when you don't know. And I think the most important as well, being resilient and more aggressive, because in the tech space, you're highly likely to fail. Yeah. In terms of adoption, finding usage, building the right product market fit. So there's really a lot. So chances are 9 out of 10 times you're going to fail. Yeah. So you'll need that kind of resilience and the emotional like the emotional stud, so to speak, to be able to to rise above every failure or every challenge that you'll face as a leader within the tech space. So I think those are some of the key traits as well that I've seen from other women who have, they've built a name for themselves within the space. They have faced a lot of hurdles, but you can see their kind of the expertise, their knowledge, expertise, the kind of resilience, aggression, and the ability really not to give up in the face of hurdles and challenges really makes them stand out. And I think those are very key traits for anyone who wants to become a woman leader within the tech space, to be able to grow and hone. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. You've a little bit stepped in the third question. I wanted to ask about the challenges African women face as leaders or entrepreneurs in the tech industry, but I would rather ask, will you name us two challenges, Christians, one or two challenges, practical or what you lived as challenges, or you faced as challenges when you enter the tech industry? Just one or two, please.
Okay. The first one that I can mention is the unconscious bias and discrimination based on the gender and race. And I would take my personal experience because I like talking about things that I've been through. Working as a woman and also as an African in an environment where you have a male-dominated environment, and you have also white people. So being Black, being woman is it's been a challenge because you have people who, and I will take an example just to be practical. I don't want to speak. So I'm working as a project leader in my team. I have one of my team member that I'm the one who leading, but he comes and then using kind of harassment or bullying, I would say, using paternity tone to talk to me just because I'm an African and I'm a woman. So that's some of the things that we can encounter at the workplace, and that I think we should address. So what I did was, this was through an email that he sent to me, giving me instruction why I'm the one who should be doing that. So I replied and I CC'd the manager and the top management because I had to address it that way. I had to be also rude. And we had a kind of a meeting to discuss that. And I think it got clear to him, and we also had like a notice coming out talking about the tone we should talk to each other as a colleague. So these are one thing I will highlight that really came up right now. I mean, that is an experience that I've been through and that I would like to share. And then we have cultural norms challenge where, when you grow up, we all grew up knowing that, saying that, okay, the tech industry is only for men, it's not for you ladies. And I have one of my friend who has been, she went to Polytech, and she got bullied almost every day by her classmate male, saying that, she's going to lose her femininity because she's there. There's no man, husband who can marry her. So these are top of ideas or norms that when we grow up, we say, okay, it's only it's something, it's just for men, just for boys, and so it's not for you. So these are some of the challenges that we have, and that I think we are seeing how things are starting changing, but we should address it by being bold sometimes, and step up whenever we have coming through this, really speak up, and making sure that it is addressed. So I can just stop with those two elements.
Thanks, Crescens. So, Shannon, please can you tell us what are the stakes of technology for the development of African companies on the African companies and Africa as a continent as a whole? And what is the role of African women in the technological shift going on, or the technological shift we want to see happening in Africa as an entrepreneur woman?
Okay. Thank you so much, Dominic. So I think in terms of the technology scene in Africa, so I can say if you look over the years, actually, there's quite some good progress. Actually, if you can see from over the years till where we are now, you can see most businesses actually adopting different digitalization methods, be it in their payment systems, in their processes, business processes. So there's quite some automation, yeah. So I think where I am, it's a bit advanced as compared to most of the African countries. So I think there's still a long way to go, but I think there's that kind of people are becoming more open-minded. It's not like before where this is something strange and something like something so off, yeah. So you can see, like, as time goes by, people are becoming more and more open and adaptable to technology. You can see people, like, in terms of we just basic statistics, if you can look at maybe mobile phone usage, internet penetration in different countries. So those are some of the statistics that will guide you to know in terms of technology adoption and just where the African continent stands at, yeah. So currently you'd find like countries like Kenya, South Africa, and Nigeria, for example, Ghana, this is in sub-Saharan Africa. They're the ones which are mostly, technologically advanced. There's high adoption of digitization and internet. So like for example, where I am, there's I think almost 86% internet penetration. So in terms of digitalization and like many people have adopted to it, and you can find like the younger generation. I think now I think they're called the Gen Zs now. The upcoming generation from the millennials to the Gen Zs to now the .com. I don't know whatever they call them these days. So those ones are the people who have grown up with technology. So you can see they are now thinking technologically oriented in terms of different solutions, like even integrating into their daily life, e-commerce, how to do their shopping online, how to just do so many things online and incorporate technology to everything that they do, because they see it as a convenience and they would like to keep up with that kind of lifestyle because they've already been born into that era. We have the older generation, of course, which is still skeptical and a bit like a bit not so open to trying out new technology because it's not something that they grew up in their era. But you find, because Africa is a very young continent as well, with a median age of around 17 or 20, so you can see like most of the young people, of course, they are more open and more willing to try out technology and new digital things. Yeah. So I think with the wave of, like, for example, generative AI, yeah, so you can find a lot of users are also from within Africa, and they use it to do, like, from students to do different assignments, from workers to enhance productivity and stuff like that. So you can see there's quite a bit of this. So the people have actually there's more of a shift in the mindset in terms of how people view technology, and people are more open to using it right now, which is actually a good sign, because when you look at the future, obviously technological advancements is a change we cannot be able to ignore. Yeah, so it's going to come, and we just have to get ready and prepare for it. And I think the role of women now in terms of advancing these technological changes comes in once they're able to know the benefits actually. And I think for most women, because most women actually are the ones who own like these small and medium sized enterprises, different businesses actually, and the women are mostly the backbone of the economy. And once they start to embrace technology in terms of learning how to use it, for one, so maybe just not the usual making calls, chatting online on WhatsApp, just the basic functionality, but try learning how to use it maybe to enhance productivity, adding some sales tools, reporting, like AI reporting tools, some analytics here and there. And I think once they learn how to embrace it, right? So this generally for the women in businesses, once they learn how to embrace technology, to use it actually optimally to optimize their businesses and just their daily incorporation in their daily operation. Because remember, as I said earlier, technology is just a tool that to enhance everyday living in our different aspects of life. So that's how the women will be able to now, once they're able to get this, they're able to push forward, especially within the business setting. Either they're small or medium-sized businesses, and they're able to support the family and generally the economy at large. And I think for women leaders who are already in the industry, it's really just to support the other upcoming women and just to encourage all other women and to be mentors and more like icons to these upcoming women, for them to be able to know the power of technology, and just for them to be able to see what technology can do for them in terms of business, to the things they care about. Yeah, so you can be a women leader in technology, maybe within the real estate space, but if you want to get you need to speak a language in which different other women understand. If it's family, if it's business, so you have to come down to their level and just explain to them the benefits of technology, maybe within their different spaces. So I think it's the role of the women already in this space to actually mentor and encourage this upcoming or other women to join in the space and really just hone their skills. So once they're able to see that what you can what you're doing actually they can know, they also have the ability and the potential as well once they see it in you. So I think being a mentor and an icon, so people can be able to see if you can do it, so they can also be able to do it once they see the benefits you are having in your life, and the opportunities maybe that are from using the technology. They'll also be more open to adapting and embracing the technology. Yes.
That's great. So you told us earlier you're an tech founder, and you have like created 3 operating businesses now. So as an African woman as an entrepreneur in the tech industry, what were your challenges? What were your challenges you faced? What was the strategies you employed to succeed and create all these 3 enterprises you put in place, like a personal experience?
Okay. So I think for me personally, other than the challenges that Chrissy mentioned, of course, bias and stereotype are obviously come almost to the top of the list. Yeah, but I think just with that bias, so being a girl, you're not technically able. There's that kind of stereotype. Girls prefer softer things like marketing, and just from even choosing the course, a very like a STEM course, it causes that kind of stereotype and bias. So I think one thing I learned in terms of dealing with stereotypes and biases really is just to really not care. Yeah, not really to care, but just to shut everything and really just focus on what I really wanted. Yeah. So I knew the vision I had, the kind of passion and drive I had, and really what I wanted to see. So I really just learned to grow a thick skin, because there's a saying that you really can't carpet the whole earth, but you can buy yourself shoes, right? So you really can't change people, everyone, from thinking the way they want to think, or how society probably has programmed them to think. So you just let them, you just learn to grow thick skin and really not care. Yeah. So that's a good advice. And like that was even what other, women mentors that I've seen, you just grow thick skin and you just really don't care. Just focus on what you're doing. And yeah, you give it your all passion and drive, and close your ears to all the negativity, and remain with that laser sharp focus. Then I think the other challenge I faced, and I think which is really even like a bigger challenge as compared to the stereotypes, because for those ones you can easily block them and just continue with life. Yeah. I think the other thing is imposter syndrome, which is more of a personal, your personal perception about yourself, your abilities, and your skills. Yeah. So I think it's a challenge most women face, maybe not only, especially women in tech and in STEM, but also I think also in different aspects, different entrepreneurship, or maybe not only in technology, but in different areas. Women face a lot of that kind of imposter syndrome, thinking maybe they're doing. Let me give a practical example. So there was once I had. So I'm a person who has very, very many ideas. Yeah, I can tell you like a million things on how to do something, and let's try this, let's try the other, and you feel like you're too much. Yeah. So like that was for me. So I felt like I was a bit too much, giving too many ideas, oversharing. So it's like you're outshining the group, so to speak. Yeah. Because you're literally everywhere, as some people might say it. Yeah. So you want to try out different things, you speak to many people, like it's more like you're too much. It gave that perception of being too much. So why don't I tone it down a bit? Let me try be humble, let me give people their chance to also shine. I can just be everywhere. So that was quite a challenge for me, actually, because I felt I was a bit too much. I felt I needed to tone down and be nice. Be nice and not play too rough or too rowdy. Just be gentle, be humble. So like those were some of the things that were just running through my head. Yeah. So maybe just maybe because of how I could see people's reactions, so I let it get to me, and yeah, so I chilled out. Yeah, quote unquote, I chilled out. So by chilling out, that means you no longer put in as much energy as you used to. You do things in a more complacent manner because you feel like you're going to overstep your boundary, etc, etc. Yeah. So and I think it got to a time where I was like, I really need to decide what I want, because it's basically your life. You have to know what you want, how you want it, and why you really want it, and what that. Just to ask myself, have this self-reflection on why I'm doing what I'm doing, what will it impact me with, what do I really want to see. So I think after a long time of tug of war, like should I not, and stuff like that. So I just got to that point where I realized, like, no, like this is like this is who I am. So it comes a point of acceptance of really the true you. You don't have to really be a people pleaser. Yeah. You don't have to look at what everyone is saying, society, community, and all those things, but you know the truth, which is deep inside of you, something that illuminates you, or what people call a purpose, and stuff like that. So something that drives you. And I think for most women, they feel things more intense. Yeah. So I think once you feel something is more purposeful, more that gives you so much drive, so much energy, and you really can't wait to wake up the next day to do it, I think you just go ahead and do it, and not caring about so many things that and eventually over time you realize that you were really worrying about nothing. No one really was looking at you, or no one, even if you did the thing that you did, it wouldn't affect, or it wouldn't have the magnitude of the kind of consequences that you're imagining in your head. So most of the things, the negativity of the consequences are really mostly imagined in the head. So just for you to get to a place of deciding, that's being that in that self-reflection, knowing exactly what you want to achieve, why do you want to achieve it, and really being laser sharp focus about it, and being truthful to yourself. Yeah. So I think not living another lie, or another figment of imagination, but just being true and pushing on to your dream and to your passion and your goals. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, um, did you see any initiative, any government initiative that were put in place to empower African women in entrepreneurship? Did you see any opportunity, or if not, are there any initiatives organized today to support and empower African women in, in the entrepreneurial field as far as the tech industry is concerned?
Well, I'd say yes and no. I think I'm not sure if it's just I don't know if government programs really work, but yes, I did try back when I was just starting off actually. So I think there were different programs, and I know currently there's some do work. Yeah, so the problem with government, just me being openly speaking, some of the people who lead such program, I think most governments actually do have something to do with youth initiatives and entrepreneurship, or women and entrepreneurship. And I believe also in my country we do have a women representative or something like some very many programs around women in businesses, and yeah, youth initiatives actually. So I think I had actually tried applying for one, but I think after applying, that was it. Yeah, I never had any response back. Yeah, so I just applied, and that was it. And like some months, or I think it was it a year later, there was something else, something new. So it's like that other program initiative was just forgotten or just disappeared. No one really knows. No one can really tell. Yeah. So I think that's also the problem with some of these African governments. We have some leaders are not very transparent and committed to their work. So you find so some of the programs that actually don't get to see the light of day because of some of the things that happen in between. Yeah. But yeah, there have been some. Have been part of the innovation hubs, actually. Innovation hubs. And I think for the city where I am right now, there's like innovation week where you can be able to come and just showcase your innovation, pitch to investors and stuff like that. So that's like government initiatives. So we do have a youth ministry, and I think that's the same case for most African countries, is youth and culture, something. And even the Ministry of Economic, I'm not really very conversant with the government programs, but I think there are different departments or different ministries that actually deal with with youth development programs, and just in terms of private-led businesses as well. They do offer some training. They do, yeah, I'm aware of trainings actually that happen. So they mostly offer training, but in terms of capital is another story. Like from the government side. So it's quite a pull and a push, or if it's the capital, because for most tech startups or most tech businesses, you actually it's a bit quite capital intensive, and what government initiatives offer is like I'd say maybe from around maybe 5,000 USD, around maybe there. So they really there's a perception of maybe as a woman or as a youth into these small businesses, and you just need like little money to support you to start off. So they don't really give as much. Yeah. Which is still okay. And I think for in other aspects of the maybe not only tech, other businesses, for example, if you're in tailoring or just retail, maybe that would be a good starting capital amount. But I think for tech is a bit capital intensive. And for initiatives, yeah, I think for it is mostly for what mostly I have been able to do is, or programs or initiatives rather, is through the private-led, like these hackathons, not hackathons rather, but pitch competitions, for instance. So there are quite a number of women pitch competitions that focus on tech women entrepreneurs, and it's quite a vibrant community, but within the private space. Within government, not as much, but I think they are trying. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Christians, over there in US? Do you have any do you know about any initiative put in place for the African women in the tech, as far as in entrepreneurship, as far as tech industry is concerned? Do you know about any of them? So I think at the end of the webinar, we'll be able to share on our different pages so that anybody can be able to check and see if it can help.
Yeah, definitely. We have so many of, it's the US, and then they are very high with tech. The one that comes up right now is, and I met with I don't know if you know Aisha Bowe. She's one of the African women who went on the space with Jeff Bezos, and so I actually met with her, I think 3 weeks ago, because we had like a forum where we met together, and she's one of the that leader, African woman leader, promoting STEM education for young ladies, because she has accomplished a lot. And she had a trip. She went to, I think, South Africa, and people there were like, yes, you went there, you did things. We also want you to, create something for us.
Create something for us, yeah.
Yeah. So she has that, she's promoting and investing a lot in the STEM education for girls. I can find her link and, and share that with you after this, but she's the one that, it comes now because I met her recently, and she's doing an amazing job there.
Wow, thanks so much. That would be wonderful for us to have the link when we share it later on. Okay, so still directed to you, this one. What role does education and mentorship play in the development of African women? And as tech leaders or as entrepreneur, what role does education play according to you?
Yeah, I would say education is a key. Whether you are in entrepreneurship or you are a leader in your, working in the workplace, corporate work, education is key. We need to be educated in the tech field, the field that you want to push you. And I would also share that it has been, for me, who transitioned coming from non-tech background totally to here, I had to educate myself, because you have to lead people, you have to at least understand what they are talking about. So I had to dig deep, go into tech things, training myself, being part of community of practices where I have other tech people. I had to really put in hard work to learn all these tools, to understand some of this basic coding stuff, so that when they talk about during meeting, I should be able to understand, and I should be able to know where we are going with the project. So it's a key here. We can't, something we should we can even skip doing. So it's a must. Mentorship also has been a powerful tool for me, even be it in my work or even in my personal life. It's great to have a mentor, because with the mentor will complement the education by providing guidance, providing support, and valuable insight. So the mentor will bring the experience, right, and can help you avoid so many mistakes. So I have my mentor. Even when I want to learn a new skill, I will find someone who is great at it. I will connect with the person, and I will make sure that at least once a week or twice, every other week, we can meet, and I will share what are the challenges that I do have. And from there, I can know how to move on. So these are two key powerful things that we must, if you want to go far and if you want to go fast. Because one thing that you can learn in 2-3 years, having a good mentor, connecting with a good mentor, can shorten that period, and you can learn it maybe in one month, 6 months, 6 months or 1 year. So mentor is, even in my personal life, as I mentioned, I have a mentor in every aspect of my life. It's good to have someone, that has been through what you are going, or who is where you already, who is where you want to be. Having that person give you some guidance, some experience, can save you time and save you energy and money, a lot of money. So mentor, coach, education, constant learning, it's key to succeed, and be it in entrepreneur or as a leader in the corporate in industry.
Okay, that's wonderful. So basically, I would like to know, like, let it go, and you've been in the field for a number of years now. Back then in school, who was your, like, what African woman inspired you? Like one or two. You talk about Rebecca Inention, but since you were not in the tech field back in school, you had to switch. You were in human resource and you switch. Is it only Rebecca Inention? You talked lately about I forgot her name. She went to the space with Buzz. Who really inspired you? Who made you feel like I'm no more comfortable with human resource? I don't want to be in human resource again. I want to move to tech industry. What was the what ignited you, that flaming? What ignited the flame in you actually? How did it come about?
That's a good and tough question, because it's been a while, and is sometimes as you are going forward, you are moving, and you can have people that can inspire you. So at that time, I had someone like maybe a nonchalant, and then today, one person that I've been watching, like eating her every morning when I wake up, and then is that Aisha Bowe, because I got to meet her in person. I got to connect with her, and I really feel that connection, and I'm learning a lot from her. She's really bold. She mentioned the unbiased stereotype, all these things that she has been through, and how she overcame it. So for me, is a big lesson. So she's that person. She's the one that I'm actually following now. So she's kind of but talking about my transition from non-tech HR to now, it's mostly my passion, as I say, I like learning new things. I don't like things that I do every day. Like, because in HR you come, that, okay, you put in things, data from employees. I like being in an environment where things moves. I'd like being in a space where I have to constantly challenge myself. So, and the tech was an area also that where I felt that I would be happier there. Another thing was that knowing that it's a lucrative career opportunities compared to HR, because where I am now, what I have as a paycheck every month is really compared to what I used to have. So it's something that, was really attractive to me. Also seeing how I can really impact, as I mentioned earlier, because it's a passion that I have, impacting people, improving their lives, how I can use the application to make things easier for other people, because as Shannon also mentioned earlier, the solution that we build is to help people in their day-to-day lives, whatever we are building, and seeing how I'm contributing to that. It's something that was like, hey, this is a place I should be. This is where I should be going. So these are some of the reasons that empowered me or that encouraged me to transition to that. And also, I felt that it would be just a fulfilling career to be in industry as well.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Shannon, please don't tell me you guys have the same woman that inspired you. Just give me an example of one, because you were in the tech since you were in school, since you back in school. So as a little girl, who was your model? Please just tell us.
Well, I mean, I had many. I don't know. I can't choose one. That would be unfair. Yeah, because I feel like I had many, and I think they're mostly present here. Because in Nairobi, I mean, just where I am right now, they're very exceptional and phenomenal women who do amazing things. I can't really, single one out, because there's something I learned from different
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 people.
women.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. That's good. So research show that women are 2 times more likely, those are research from US, are more likely to be laid off than men, stemming from the persistent lack of seniority compared with male colleagues in the sector. So Christians, over there in the US, what advice or arguments as you're surrounding your environment, what advice or arguments do you have to encourage women to get started in technology so as to make the shift? Because if like more than two women are more likely to be laid off from the jobs because they lack, or may I say the experience, or because of the gender, what advice can you give to African women to get started in the technology to make the shift?
Yeah. And I will go from my own experience. As I mentioned earlier, is an industry where you can find yourself fulfilled. You know, it's an industry where what you are doing, you are contributing to a bigger mission by what you are doing, by what you are creating, the application that you'll be creating, the tools that you'll be doing will be impacting people's life. So that's one thing I can tell them. You know, you have a purpose life. You won't live doing a work because you just maybe for a paycheck or whatever. You're doing something that is bringing something to the universe, bringing something to people. So that's one thing. A second I would definitely share with them that the tech industry offers a plethora of lucrative and rewarding career. We pay very well, when you are in the IT tech. Yeah, I can tell you are, it is security, IT, it's really it's lucrative. So I will definitely tell people to, you can be there. Women in tech can pursue diverse roles there, from software engineers, data scientists to cybersecurity expert and product managers. We have a variety. You have so many options when you are there. So yeah, that's one thing that can really trigger and that can encourage someone to shift. Another thing is empowering women and achieving financial independence, and that's one thing that Shannon is doing, like moving from the tech, using your skills. Maybe you know how to code, you know how to build. You can create an app and you can sell it, and being an entrepreneur and reach that level where you are financially independent. So those are some of the in that field. We have a lot of opportunity today. In Africa is developing, so we have opportunity to create a lot of app to make things easier for others. So those are the three main arguments that I can give to someone who is like, should I come or not? So I will just put those three out now.
Okay, thanks a lot. So according to recent data, representation of women in the tech is still trending is like in the wrong direction. So in a proportion of 16% from female gender and 13% from male gender in 2022, like 20% were lost, like in the tech force. What opportunities and potential growth exist for African women in the tech sector? And what can you say? Give an example of an opportunity in the tech for a woman, a real and tangible example. Yeah, Crescent, you're the one.
Can you come back again? Can you say that again?
Okay, what opportunity and potential growth areas exist for African women in the tech? Like one example for the future, for the moment. What do you see?
Okay, yeah. I mean, we see how things are changing now. You will see communities, governments trying to promote and invest in the STEM. You will see people trying to organize webinars to address unconscious bias and gender stereotypes, and also in increasing the access to the technology and digital literacy training to young ladies. So these are some signs of hope. These are some signs of hope, knowing that in the future things can be better, right? So I would just encourage any young lady, any woman, to not be shy and to not step away, to know that we have a future that can be brighter than what we have today, and really support women in the women lead tech startup and businesses. So we see a brighter future with all these how can I say, initiatives that we see through learning, training, and trying to address all these unconscious bias and gender stereotypes.
Oh, thanks. What about you, Shannon? You're in the field, you're in the entrepreneurial field. What opportunities or potential growth areas exist for African women in the tech industry?
I think there are quite a number actually, so very many. I mean, because tech is really broad. So you'd look at areas like, for example, there's networking where you have to connect networks like either commercial networks or private networks. So this is basically just about internet Wi-Fi and connectivity. So that's an area maybe if you're interested in, you can explore. Then there's also an aspect bit of databases, how to store data, manage, if you've heard of cloud technologies, knowing how to use Google Cloud, for example, to move organizational data and just to maintain the flow and stuff like that. So it's quite cloud technologies, databases. There's also something to do with data science, which is also a very hot topic right now within the tech space. So you can just learn, there are various like programming languages, like maybe, for example, Python or R, or different tools as well. So you know how to manipulate manipulate data and come up with insights for that can be used to make up good decisions by companies or more companies or organizations. So that's also a field you can try exploring. There's also cybersecurity, which is also very quite big, considering the more digital you go, the more the surface of attacks increases. So many people are looking for cybersecurity analysts, and so for many are not really tied to programming. And I know when people hear about tech, that's the first thing that they think about, being a developer that is using programming or different languages to come up with applications, like web applications or mobile apps. So that is not the only thing you can do, because I know for most women who do not prefer such technical aspects, so there's still quite a number of different opportunities you can explore, like being a cybersecurity analyst or analyzing systems, checking if they're vulnerable for attacks and stuff like that. Also systems auditing, which is more or less something similar to doing the being a red hacker as well. Yeah, so you can be a white hat hacker, just hacking different systems, which is quite interesting, and finding ways you can be able to give security updates and stuff like that. So there's actually quite a number. There's also now Internet of Things, where you're able to now program not only devices and things, but you can also like for example fridges, water management systems. So having different devices interact with one another. If that's something you're interested in doing, you can explore the Internet of Things field. Yeah, so there's really quite a number. There's blockchain now with the talk of Bitcoin and DeFi, if you've heard of distributed finance. So and like also currently with what are they called, CBDC. So there's a lot of things happening within the fintech space as well. So you can either be a consultant as well. So like as a consultant, you must have the industry knowledge and look at the trends and be able to advise accordingly on how best maybe a company should do its policies, or how an organization can pivot towards the trends and stuff like that. So either being a consultant, or what as well Chris is doing as a project manager, because there are very many organizations doing different things from NGOs. So they'll need someone to overlook the entire team to be able to come up with the use cases, different features, do a feasibility study and stuff like that. So there's really quite a lot. I might not be able to exhaust the entire list, but yeah, just to tell the women out there, there's really a lot more. Than some things might not be as technical. There are some things you can do as from consultancy or management level that would still be of interest to you, but still within the tech space. Yeah.
Okay. So according to you, if you were the government, you were corporate, you were from diaspora, what contribution can you give or can you make for the advancement and empowerment of African women in this field? One example, one thing you can put forward for this to be possible, for more women to join the tech, for more African ladies to join the tech industry. What can you add from what you have been in the field for long? You know what is in place. What do you think can be done? What can you give? What can you bring for as a contribution for the advancement and the empowerment of African women in the tech industry?
I'd say I think the first thing as government, what government should do is in terms of, I think very key is in terms of policy, having favorable policies really for the women to thrive. Yeah. So I think right now it's just mostly general, just general for businesses and but I feel like this has to be something, some form of incentive or some form of program really ideally for women in tech, because that's a very, I would say, special project. Because there are very few, as you mentioned, there are very few. So you need some form of incentive as well to be able to ensure that more women come into business, either by reducing the taxes or giving access to capital or having a fund of some sort for women to know, like once they get into this, there's, obviously support. And I think that is also one thing that most women lack once they're in the tech space. They need that kind of support, either financially, mentorship, a technical maybe mentor, for example, who can help with their skills. So that kind of support, I think, is very ideal for women. So coming up with those programs that actually, that actually work, having people who are credible and very transparent and honest about who can be able to lead such programs, of having these different funds, having this mentorship programs going on to support the women. So I feel like if there's that safe space created for women, they'll be able to really outdo themselves and really focus on their business within the tech space. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. What about you, Crescent?
Yeah, I will add one or two things to what Shannon said. The government or our community can help women to go into the tech industry by increasing the access to technology and digital literacy training, like providing affordable access to the technology for women, offering digital literacy training programs for women. There are some community doing it here, and I know also here there in Africa. But creating also community centers and libraries where we can provide access to the technology and training. Another thing that the government, or I would say the community, the tech community, can offer is also the supporting women-led tech startups and businesses by providing some funding and investment opportunity for women-led tech startups and businesses, and also offering mentorship and networking opportunity, so that other women can meet all together, learn from each other, and gaining that mentorship that we need. And we spoke about the importance of having a mentor. So offering that opportunity to any woman entrepreneur, any woman leader, is definitely something that that would be great. Also promoting women tech-led startups and businesses to potential customers and investors. So work also in partnership, with the government and client, facilitating that relation with the customers and investors. Yeah.
That's great. So that's one question that comes from me. The other question was from the group. So with all the experience you've shared tonight, do you think you can become mentor? Do you think you can become a mentor?
I am a mentor of so many. Yeah,
Oh,
I mentor
that's good.
people, and I've actually have a limit, because there are people who are reaching out a lot, but with my schedule, it's not always easy, because when
Easy.
I take you as a mentor, I really want to give you time, right? So I mentor most of the people that I mentor, people who are transitioning to be the Scrum Master, business analyst, project manager, and who are like, okay, where do I start? What do I do? So I help them on the day-to-day life. When they come with challenges, I kind of coaching them. So that's what I do. So I'm already a mentor. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
part of what I do.
That's great. That's great. I won't ask Shannon because from what she said, I know she's a mentor. I definitely know she's a mentor. So that's why I won't ask the question, because I definitely need, you're a mentor and you're already empowering so many African women to join and to keep up in the tech industry. So I think we have just 12 more minutes left. We'll go switch to the questions of our invitees tonight. That's a question for Shannon. In your community, how do you perceive the implication of women related to information and technology? Do you spontaneously engage, or do you feel they have been pushed to make use of technology and its advancements?
Well, I think in my community, okay, basically, I think you mean maybe here where I am in Nairobi or here in Kenya generally. So, here I would say most of there are quite few actually. So there are not quite as many women in the tech space. There are quite a handful, really. There are not as many. So I think for this, they're people who really outdo themselves, right? They really are passionate about technology and they do like problem solving and they engage with the technology and really use it to solve different problems. So for me, I'd feel they are really yeah, they're really empowered because we have many communities like tech communities, so to speak, these women in Nairobi, or just women in tech. We have different groups and sessions where women get together at a monthly basis and just discuss maybe some of the challenges they have if they're either programmers or just within different spaces within the IT, and then they're able to discuss things out, within their peers, and so they get help from other ladies as well. So I think women within my community, they do have that kind of strong support base through the community forums, and they are able to really, make an impact and solve different problems and create amazing solutions because of this kind of support base that they have. Yeah. So I hope I've answered the question. Oh, you on mute, Dominic?
I said a question now for Chrissy, but I think you've answered her questions. From the same invitee, Olga Koloko from USA, she says she has been captivated by the project Chris talked about related to creation of an application to help the disabled persons move freely. So can you please give her an idea of how easy or difficult it is to create an application that help resolve specific issue?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that project it was a big project because it was involving, you had so many stakeholders in there because we had moving from one area to another one. Here in the US, you have different transportation modes. You have buses, you have metro, you have shuttles, you have cars, you have taxi drivers, all this stuff. So we had to work with the government, with the Department of Transportation, to get information from them, to integrate their tool, what they are doing, with ours, what we were trying to build. We work with the metro department to also take the data, because we wanted to have a real-time information. When you want to book, sorry for the background, when you want to book your trip, you have to be able to get in the app and see what are the different options that you have, what are the buses that are coming in maybe 1 hour or 2 hours. So you have to be able to get in there, book your trip, knowing that in 1 hour you should be at this place to be able to get in the bus, and knowing that this bus will bring you to the metro in maybe 10 minutes. So we had to connect with all these different stakeholders, all these different departments from the different stakeholders, and put together all the data. It was really a very complex project. We were able to make it. And what was the next question? I didn't. So I don't know if that answered the question. I think she said, secondly, if an entrepreneur would like to create an app to solve an issue their business faces, what information can they provide you with? Okay, if an entrepreneur would like you to create an app to solve
an issue in the business, an issue they face in their business, what information would they provide to you?
Start by understanding the problem itself. What are the needs of those people? I think it always start there. What are they trying to achieve, and come up with kind of a list of your requirements, because you have to start there, and you have to understand exactly the requirement. You don't want to go and start building an app or a solution of something that you didn't understand at all. You might come at the end of the product, and then it won't be a solution that you want, or that, it won't be a solution for that person. So understand having like kind of, you have so many tools to do that. You have user journey tool, you have so many interviews, questionnaires, but you want to dig deeper to understand what is the real problem here. What is my problem might not be yours, right? What is someone's problem might not. You can build a tool, it solves someone's problem, but it's not the solution for you. So it's good to start by understanding what's the problem here, what are we trying to solve as a and then come up with the requirements. From your requirement, you know, okay, who are the people, what are the skills that I need to build this, to achieve, to build this requirement, and then build up your team. If you need someone with skills in AI, or you need a front-end developer, so just take it from there. But the key is to start by understanding the what, and then you find the how. These are the skills to now deliver the product that you want to deliver. I hope it answered.
Okay. Oh, perfectly. And she asked for your contacts. I hope you feel free for me to share your contacts, both Shannon and Crescents.
No worries, it's okay.
Okay. Okay,
And maybe
that's
I can just add something.
yeah, of course, of course.
Just to summarize what Chris was saying in terms of the design process of an application. I think basically what she's saying is in terms of researching the what and the problem and solving it.
Shannon,
Your mic is not that okay.
Yeah, we
Oh,
can
sorry. Is it
yeah,
better now?
much better.
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, so I was just saying, I'm just trying to summarize all the four points that Chrissy has said. So in terms of the design process of an application, would have the research. So the first thing is to do is the research. What Chrissy has just said, knowing what the problem is and who the users are. Then number two is going to the design phase. So the design phase is how you now intend the application to be in terms of getting user requirements through those different tools, the user journeys, empathy maps, and so on and so forth. Then after getting the design, you go to the implementation stage, where this is actually where the coding takes place, programming using the different languages and seeing the app come to life. So after implementing it, you need to test the application. So there are different tests that are done to ensure that the performance is working well, security as well, so the features are working correctly. So that's under testing. So after testing, there's also now you're able to launch it now. So after launching, it's just basically maintenance and yeah, just continuous feedback. So that's the whole research, design, implement, test, and then maintain. So those are the five key points that I feel like he was asking. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I hope our invitees were you really answered her questions. You both, with all your knowledge, you really well answered her questions. So I think our time is up. We've learned so much tonight. We've learned a lot, but our time is up. We have been honored by your presence and the experience you've agreed to share with us tonight. So it's just left to say goodbye, and we look forward meeting you again for more topics, more defined topics on, I don't know. Kristen says she might not be entrepreneur in tech industry, but surely she's an entrepreneur. So I'm sure we'll have another webinar where you'll be invited as well, because tonight was delightful having you and sharing all the information with you. It was just wonderful, girls. I thank you very much. And I thank all the invitees who joined us, and I hope they are satisfied about tonight. So have you any other things to say, girls, before we depart? Or before we part?
Yeah, it was a pleasure being here, sharing my knowledge, my experience with the audience. Thanks again for the invitation, and yeah, hopefully we have another one like this. Thank you again.
Okay. Okay, that would be great. So Shannon, anything to say?
Yeah. So really, just for me, just to thank you and the organizing team for this webinar. I think it has been very insightful, and I've also learned a lot actually just by sharing as well. And just to encourage all the other women entrepreneurs or those who would like to join within the tech space, either as a career or a job or entrepreneurship as well. Just remain focused, resilient, and be true to yourself. Yeah. So I think with those three, you'll be able to conquer very many things, and we'll be seeing your name in the limelight very soon. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Before we leave, I would like to thank the African Business Index tonight who helped us or make us share these wonderful informations. I think all our invitees are happy and satisfied, and we invite them to follow us on our different pages and our website. So bye-bye, girls. We are just a few seconds left for our time to be up. So bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.